Buongiorno a tutti, siamo in Italia, in Fowa, io sono Marco Cappati. Abbiamo qui il piacere di avere Perry Oosting, CEO of Hasselblad. Assieme a me ho voluto radunare tutta una rappresentanza di giornalisti del mercato fotografico italiano. Di fianco a me ho Mauro Fabbri, che rappresenta Sprea Editori, Emanuele Costanzo, il direttore creativo e fondatore di Photocult, PM Studio News con Edo Prando e Marina Macri, Gerardo Bonomo per editrice Progresso e Progresso Fotografico e Luca Forti per editrice Reflex. Quando abbiamo saputo che potevamo avere la grandissima opportunità di avere qui Mr. Perry, abbiamo voluto appunto radunarci tutti assieme per potergli porre alcune domande sul futuro di Hasselblad e come l'ha trovata al suo arrivo.
Okay, so thank you, Marco. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's a great honor to be here. One of my favorite countries. And then you say, yes, of course, he always says that when he's in France. France will be his favorite country. No, it's true. I love Italy. I have a house in Italy. So I spent quite some years here in Italy, in Tuscany, close to Florence. So we've always been connected to Italy. And especially, if you look, I worked at Bulgari, at Prada, Gucci, so always great Italian brands, great Italian families as well. So it's always a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back to Fowa, because there's a long standing history with Fowa and Hasselblad, going back at 1976 that Hasselblad and Fowa was working together. So it's even more excited that Fowa and Hasselblad start to work together again, and that I am personally part of that, and that's really excitement. But now, that's all to me, and that's all to Hasselblad. I think you have a lot of questions, so let's get started with the first question.
Mr. Oosting, mi può dire qualcosa riguardo la partnership con JDI? In particolare partnership finanziaria, ma per quanto riguarda i droni c'è interesse di Hasselblad verso questo mercato?
Sì, I think you meant DJI. So yes, we have signed an agreement last year, so 2015, of a partnership and a minority investment of DJI, which we're very, very happy about. The reason why we're happy is that it is a partner that is extremely successful. As a partner has a lot of brain power, so it's a young upcoming company, very successful in a very disruptive technology. It's actually also a company that is in the aerial part, which was the starting point of Hasselblad. So there is also that kind of link to DJI. Of course, the size of the company is very different. So the size of DJI compared to Hasselblad. But we're very happy that they're part, because there's certainly an access from our side to some of the elements that DJI has to offer. And I think there's also something that maybe we can offer to DJI. So that's why we're very happy. Do we have definite plans in terms of product? No, there are no definite plans right now. We are talking on a constant basis. There's of course also a board membership by one of the representatives of DJI within the supervisory board of Hasselblad. But there's no definite plans that we have a plan on the roadmap from a joint product. Would we like to? Absolutely.
Mr. Oosting,
Perry.
Perry, ok, thank you. Perry, cosa possiamo sapere riguardo la collaborazione di ricerca e sviluppo con Sony, e se questa collaborazione è terminata possiamo pensare che Hasselblad torna a essere un brand sviluppato e prodotto interamente in Svezia?
First of all, let me clarify. We are great friends of Sony. We have, of course, collaboration with Sony in different fields. One of them is, of course, in the sensor division. So that's not just as a supplier towards a client, but it's also in terms of the development. Furthermore, there is still a very good relationship with the camera division. Are we planning any new cameras with Sony or any other partner right now? No. So the made in Sweden is key to us. It's one of our USP, unique selling proposition, which is optical quality, iconic design, living history, and Swedish craftsmanship. So in the near future, we're absolutely focusing on that, what we can do on our future products made in Sweden. We are still talking with different partners and partnerships, so it's not like we are secluding or excluding partnerships. I think partnerships are there for if it's an authentic additional value of partners bringing to one product, absolutely. Is it badging? No.
Ok, thank you.
You're welcome.
Per moltissimi anni Fowa è stato per Hasselblad il miglior distributore al mondo. Questo significa che in Italia ancora oggi ci sono migliaia e migliaia di corredi fotografici Hasselblad, esiste un dorso digitale, esiste una nuova line-up di Hasselblad. Voi pensate che Fowa riuscirà a riconquistare nuovamente la palma di miglior distributore al mondo per Hasselblad? Grazie.
Penso, sorry, in English. So I think there's all the right foundation. I mean, I'm visiting here Fowa today. I've seen not only the reception side, but I've seen the back-end side as well of this building, including its people. I'm very, very impressed. This is a company that is one of our most professional partners that we have around the world. Not only from brain power, manpower, but especially also if you look at the logistical side and the whole supply chain, how they're prepared. And the marketing side. So a really great partner to restart again. Will it be the biggest in the world? Why not? The thing is that, of course, that other markets have grown in the meantime. And if you look today how Hasselblad is being spread around the world and geographically spread, it's quite a healthy split, because 1/3 of our business comes from the US, 1/3 from Europe, and 1/3 from Asia. So, so that's a good starting point. I'm looking forward to work together with Fowa. And besides that, we have to live in today's world. That story that Fowa had with Hasselblad is so unique. We just came from a meeting room where we had a little coffee before and saw the original photos of Victor Hasselblad given to Madame Winkler, which is amazing. And also then the stories before I came to Italy with people from Hasselblad, which are sometimes 30, 40, says even somebody close to 50 years with the company said, oh yes, you're going to Fowa. Madame Winkler, yeah, Madame Winkler. So there is a story, there is a passion, there is a relationship, and I think that's the great foundation to start building back Fowa to one of the best and biggest distributors around the world. But moreover, that our clients in Italy are enjoying the products, and that is the great starting point as well, because you have so many V cameras that has been sold here in Italy, where a possibility for a digital back, where a possibility to an upgrade to a new system, the affinity to the brand, and not that all the customers are still there, but we also see that most of those products are being given to the next generation, and there's a similar affinity to it. So it's a great foundation. Sorry about the long answer. Yeah, yeah.
Grazie.
That was the ratio 1 to 2, right? Yeah.
Grazie.
Prego, prego.
Il collega prima ha parlato di un dorso digitale Hasselblad.
Yeah.
Il mercato, il target di questo dorso sono per voi esclusivamente i professionisti o pensate che ci sia anche un mercato del fotoamatore di un certo livello?
Absolutely, I think it's even more amateur than just professional. Yes, it is a 50 CMOS sensor, but with the price point that what we offer today, it's for somebody who is a, I would say, dedicated amateur or passionate enthusiast. It's really a way into almost call it medium format because of the 50 megapixel sensor of a system that he used to shoot with on film. So, so it's I would say even more than 50% is amateur versus professional, and that is also due to our new price point. As you might know, we have changed the price point to around 7,000 euros, coming from 11,000, and then you hit really that, I would say, that price sensibility or sensitivity to have a wider audience, and that's why we see now a higher percentage of dedicated amateurs versus professionals. Hey, you're welcome.
Pensando al futuro di Hasselblad nei prossimi anni, non ho potuto fare a meno di pensare ad un altro marchio che ha fatto la storia della fotografia come Leica e come questo marchio è uscito dalle sabbie mobili, diventando un brand, una griffe molto importante proprio a livello anche psicologico nei confronti dei propri clienti, non solo un marchio fotografico ma un marchio di alta qualità, una griffe. E ho pensato che potesse essere una strada percorribile anche da Hasselblad, solo che mentre con Leica, continuo con questo parallelo, posso anche spendere 14.000 euro per comprare ad esempio una monochrome con un 50 mm f2 e mettere a posto la coscienza per questa spesa portandomela comunque tutti i giorni con me, perché possiamo definirla quasi una compatta, alla fine è relativamente leggera e trasportabile, può essere la compagna di tutti i giorni. E ho pensato allo stesso per Hasselblad, ma mi viene difficile immaginare un corpo attuale di queste dimensioni accompagnato anche dall'ottica più piccola, la vedo difficile portarmela appresso tutti i giorni, quindi diventerebbe un acquisto che potrebbe rimanere spesso e volentieri chiuso in una cassaforte o in una teca e forse allora posso immaginare sempre in questo futuro ipotetico che Hasselblad punti a qualcosa di più trasportabile, di più amichevole, o se così non è, allora non è forse il caso che Hasselblad si concentri, anziché su creare una griffe, sulle caratteristiche tecnologiche e qualitative che ne hanno fatto, che ne hanno costituito la base del suo successo a livello mondiale, storico?
Now, if I understood your question well, I think I did, in saying there is this element of brand, there's this element of visibility, and absolutely, and something more portable around Hasselblad. Absolutely, we do not see just the future of the studio, medium format, professional, mainly targeted audience as the future of the Hasselblad brand. And I think that goes back again to the past. I mean, when Victor Hasselblad developed the V system or the V camera, that was not dedicated just for the professional user. This was for the amateur. And it was all about portability at the end, because he was frustrated as a young photographer to go into the field, and he was a dedicated bird photographer, to have this big wooden box with him. And then on top of that, he needed to change film. And of course, the bird was already gone. So for him was modularity, portability key, and that's how the V camera came about. How do we see the future? Absolutely like that. That's a part of our business, that we see a wider audience to the brand. And if you then look from a consumer journey, you will go from professional to prosumer and to consumer. And sometimes, of course, they're overlapping. It's not like it's set in stone that who's now the consumer and who's now the prosumer and who's now the professional. You have also the semi-professional. You have sometimes the dedicated consumer that is a prosumer. So, but that's the journey, how we see that. Which products, when, we hope to surprise the market by each of these events going forward. But one thing we are dedicated about, those key products, where our expertise is the dominating factor of the proposition, it will be made in Sweden. I hope that that was the essence of your question. Because that was a lot of Italian for me. Sorry.
Quindi a prescindere dalla qualità di Hasselblad, che è ovviamente indiscutibile, c'è da dire che c'è una forte concorrenza nel mercato e vista la vostra promozione sugli obiettivi, state pensando anche a delle promozioni sui corpi macchina?
Yes, we did several promotions. Because what we did at the end of last year, I don't know if you were aware, but now, of course, being now with Fowa again, we will be more aware. We had a very special price point for the H system, the H5D50, where we had the system up for 12,500 euros retail. And what really happened is that we did 25% in 1 month of the total annual volume in one go. In 1 month, so which is partly delivery and order intake combined. So this was an amazing figure, because that means that in 1 month you can do 25% of your unit sales on an annual basis. So the price sensitivity is there. And why we did that? We did that because we want more people coming to the medium format and to Hasselblad. Because there's still a great barrier to come into the medium format or to come into Hasselblad because of its price point. There's a lot of young photographers who would love to have the Hasselblad in their studios, but they just cannot afford it. And this was a great opportunity for us to get those new customers. And then you can say, well, but that was a high cost by giving that special price point. It's an investment. It's an investment. It's not a cost. And moreover, there was no trade-in against that. And moreover, there were more lenses sold. So if I look at the lens attachment rate compared to the special price, went up double. And that's a great indication. That means there's a lot of new people coming into the system. I think this will, we will review that according also in view of new product launches and what is the lifetime of certain product ranges going forward. But I think we will constantly, or we will always have promotions ongoing, really focused on the new customer to bring him into the system, because not every young photographer can immediately go at that price point of 20,000 euros. And why should we discriminate them not having an offer and start investing in glass, in lenses, to have the lenses being compatible for the new system? Because so far, all the H lenses, all the H Hasselblad lenses are all compatible for today's product, but will also be compatible for the next product. That I can say that to already today. So yes, we continue to promotion. Yes, partly the market is competitive in medium format and will be even more competitive in my opinion. There will be more players coming. It's still a very niche market. The good thing is we are known within this market. We have a little share in this market. We're not going to big market share in this market. And what we try to do is just getting younger audience towards the brand by special pricing.
Harry, prima del digitale lo status quo non era un brand ma era un formato. Il top era il medio formato in assoluto, sia per i professionisti che anche per gli appassionati high-end. E il top era Hasselblad, non esisteva praticamente altro. Quindi quando Fowa era distributore di Hasselblad in Italia, il top era proprio questo brand. Oggi, da tempo, col digitale, con i sensori full frame da una parte e anche con i sensori medio formato per altri brand che non sono Hasselblad, c'è sicuramente un diverso approccio alla fotografia sia professionale che degli appassionati, non necessariamente passando da un sensore medio formato. Quindi esistono adesso dei competitor tecnici, non solo di brand, che una volta non esistevano perché c'era un problema di pellicola. Come pensa Hasselblad di contrastare, di vincere, di sfidare il sensore full frame da una parte e i sensori medio formato, ovviamente non Hasselblad, dall'altra? Grazie.
Yeah. Now the competition is there from both sides, if I understood your question as well. So a full frame on one side and then medium format on the other side. I think as a brand what you need to do is just constantly innovate, invest in your R&D and in your product. If, for example, in the medium format, everybody has access to similar sensors in the market. If you look at a 50 megapixel CMOS sensor, it's not only us using that. But it doesn't stop there, meaning it doesn't mean if you make a good minestrone soup and you give me the same ingredients as Graco Pack from Milano and he uses the same ingredients, I'm sure his soup will taste a lot better than mine. So what I'm trying to say is it's about how you use the combination, because still optical quality is driven by your lens quality, your ergonomics, your PCB board interaction with your sensor. And then, of course, a part of that is then also how your digital backend, how your software and post-production capabilities are. So it's the combination of elements. So in that sense, we constantly need to be trying to be better and to focus on where we're good at and what we believe is driving that best optical quality. And sometimes we have been not loud enough about it because, for example, if you take our lenses, our incredible great lenses, and all 12 of them with the shutter inside to stop vibration is one of those technical elements that nobody else has, and that's something we need to be proud of and constantly be focused about. The ergonomics. I'm relatively new to the camera market, as you know, so I'm not a technical specialist, but for me it always starts, a good picture starts how you hold the camera. Yeah. Sometimes like a mobile phone is you take a good picture just to make sure that your lens is clean. Yeah. It's simple, you can put whatever software, you can put whatever megapixels on there. So I think it's in that side on the medium format side. On the other side, on the full frame side, absolutely, there's some really new players, some really great products in the market. And again, we will make sure that from our proposition, and that's certainly the word innovation needs to come back, and the words on focus on where is the optical quality coming into, that's why we're investing. And that's what we've tried to do as well since the beginning of 2015. You know, it was not an easy year for us financially, but all the money we had was put into R&D. So we have hardly spent any money on marketing. We didn't speak, as you know, to the press at all. It was all focus. Get the roadmap going. Let's bring back innovation. Let's bring back quality on from a technology point of view. And I think that's the race that is on. There's the race that will be on, not only today, but tomorrow. I think the good news then is, yes, then we are a brand on top of that. Yeah. So maybe then if there's an element of brand and there's an element of trust, then that could be your little advantage that you might have to some of the other players, because people do not only buy specs. And we are not only about specs. It's also about the brand, it's about other elements than just specs, because specs can everybody deliver one day. Yeah. And that's why we hope we have that little advantage also being part of Hasselblad and the Hasselblad name. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Immagino che i prossimi passi a livello di risoluzione di sensori siano verso i 100 megapixel, forse anche oltre. Prima ha parlato di alta qualità ottica come di un fondamento del successo di un marchio. Secondo lei le attuali ottiche sono pronte per questo salto generazionale verso i sensori da 100 megapixel? E se non fossero pronti, i prossimi sviluppi, i prossimi obiettivi, con quale partner verranno prodotti? È possibile che ci sia un ritorno di fiamma con Zeiss?
Okay, so due domande. The first question is very simple. Sì.
Sono pronti.
Sono pronti. Tutti obiettivi, so all the lenses of today are compatible with future products. So that's one thing. Zeiss, we have a good relationship, but we have no definite plans with Zeiss. We still see that it's part of our USP, our objectives, our lenses, that we make them in-house. We design them in-house. We have our own IP, so intellectual property of them, and especially with the shutter inside, because that's one of the key elements of the Hasselblad lens. It's also then how you build your camera. So that's not so easy to put another lens on there. So there's no definite plans with Zeiss right now, at this stage. With all the respect to Zeiss.
Tornando invece a parlare di sensori, in una recente intervista ha parlato di full frame. Si può pensare per caso a un ritorno di fiamma con l'X-Pan?
Yeah, the X-Pan was a very successful camera at the time. But again, I mean, what I said before, it's living history. So respectful to history, but we're also living in today's world. So an X-Pan is a camera that was very successful. I think it was launched in 1999, so 17 years ago. I don't see a return of an X-Pan the way it was. Absolutely, that's past. If somebody wants one, they're still for sale, by the way, on eBay. But that's not the trajectory that we see in the future going forward for Hasselblad. That there are elements coming for Hasselblad that are linked to the past, but they should be of today's world or tomorrow's world. An example, there is always a request for coming back to a 6x6 format. Yeah? And we'd love to do a 6x6, but we also need to see what is the commercial attractiveness to a wider audience of a 6x6. So these are the things that we are studying. Going back to the X-Pan as the X-Pan was in 1999, no, there's no plans. That's what your question meant, right? That the X-Pan, if we're going to do another X-Pan like the X-Pan? No. No. We will, first of all, be digital. That's one thing. Yeah, I mean, it was a great camera at the time, but you know, life moves on. Yeah. The handling of the experiment was fantastic. Yeah.
Pare che in questo momento non si possa parlare di fotografia se non unita, connessa al video.
Yeah.
È qualcosa di innovativo che va fuori dal concetto di pura fotografia o è qualcosa che Hasselblad sente di poter affrontare?
Well, we see, look, when we made the strategy going forward, we looked at what is needed short term. And short term, absolutely, it's still still photography. That's where our core DNA, that's our resources, our capabilities are going to be focused on. But then you look also mid-term or long-term, and then you look at the total picture of what is imaging experience, so the circle around still photography. And certainly video is part of that. We need to look at video. Video is upcoming, video is there. Is Hasselblad have anything on the roadmap yet, just a dedicated video camera? No, we don't. But is there something that we would exclude for the long term? No, we will not exclude. So we certainly will look at imaging experience of the Hasselblad brand, both in a hard goods expansion as well as in a soft goods expansion. Now, hard goods meaning it's lenses, is video, is maybe accessories, which I mean with hard goods, and soft goods is maybe software, is services, is cloud. So those are elements we're also looking at, but much more from a longer term perspective, and no yet commitments on the roadmap for now.
Abbiamo affrontato in precedenza l'argomento di come allargare il mercato potenziale di apparecchi di questo livello. Il medio formato in qualche misura è un mercato piccolo, quindi è ipotizzabile per Hasselblad studiare, proporre apparecchi di formato minore, pensate per un pubblico più ampio, seppur di altissimo livello e prestigio, oppure no?
Sì.
Sì.
And medium format is really important. I think actually medium format has more and more players coming, and there will be more coming in my opinion. But at the same time, like I said before, Victor Hasselblad was not only focused on that professional user. I mean, that V camera was for the amateur. And so whenever we go outside or below medium format, there's also a place for Hasselblad, in my opinion, because it's not out of our scope of the brand. Is there something that immediately will come to the market? No, but we certainly see an opportunity to a wider audience for Hasselblad. And I think Hasselblad deserves that, because I think the medium format is great, and it is something that is needed, and it's also something that we're going to continue to be focused on, because that's your, as the French say, the raison d'être, that is the reason to be. That on the top you're existing, and that you're constantly evolving and investing and innovating on the top, because then whatever you do underneath there, it makes it much more easier and more relevant, and probably also more authentic. So, yes.
Thank you.
Prima lei ha parlato più volte di nuove generazioni,
Yeah.
i giovani, nuovo mercato. Allora, Hasselblad è stata sulla Luna.
Yeah.
Gli americani non si sa, però Hasselblad sicuramente è stata sulla Luna.
Sì.
Quanto è importante questo passato di vera gloria assoluta, questo aver fotografato alcuni dei momenti più importanti addirittura della storia dell'uomo nel marketing del terzo millennio di Hasselblad, così come Omega ancora oggi, sì, con il Moonwatch vende ancora alle generazioni che non erano ancora nate quando Omega andò sulla Luna, yeah, vende ancora lo stesso orologio. Questo quanto è importante per Hasselblad?
Well, it's always showing respect to your past, I think, but you need to live in today's world. Personally, I think, and that's a personal opinion, I think that sometimes the moon story was a little bit over-communicated, because there's more to Hasselblad than just that we were on the moon. It will always be there, it's not that we neglect it, but there are so many other iconic moments that are captured by Hasselblad. And that goes from the Ansel Adams pictures, or that goes from the portrait of Steve Jobs, and the Beatles crossing Abbey Road, shot with a Hasselblad. Richard Avedon's pictures. I mean, there are so many iconic moments that were shot in the Hasselblad. And those iconic moments should be also moments of today. And we are more into the arts and the creativity side, whereby probably Leica much more on the journalism side. But if you look at those elements that come back, that is part of today's world. And I think that is also what we need to focus more and communicate more about. I think what is also important for the new generation is giving them the tools. I think that's important, because for me creativity comes with what is your scope. If you have this scope and the limitations is driven by the scope of the product that you use. But if you have a product that can do this, your creativity usually should be wider. So we are looking to invest quite considerable amounts for our company, for our small company, to the schools, to the academies. You probably saw that also with the Masters competition. So we have a new category which is under 21. Also the prize that we're going to give for the Masters, each of the Masters finalists will receive a medium format camera from us at the end and at the ceremony at Photokina 2016. We are in constant discussion with the professors, because actually the professors of these schools are asking us, hey, can we actually have back the V system camera? Because they want their students to learn how to look again. So waist level, looking at that composition again, not just what technology it is, but just learning how to look again. And that's where we see our duty to prepare the next generation. I think the good news is that there's much more a slow trend coming in the world, that people did their smartphones. Yes, people are uploading 1.6 billion pictures a day, I believe, on Facebook as a majority. But people also want to take time again. People go to yoga, people go to spa, people go to... But there's also the element of photography again. And I think that's an opportunity. I wouldn't say that we will beat the smartphone pictures or the other usage, but I think it would be good that Hasselblad could play a role in that. Take time, capture that moment that will never come back, and take that in your composition, in your expression of your creativity. The moon story is part of that. The iconic image is part of that, but I think the third element is, let's give the younger audience the access to a product where they can expand their creativity. And that's the duty of Hasselblad. In our very small way, we're a very small company, but we are putting a lot of effort through social media, through our digital marketing, but also that we are subsidizing some schools with that. And I think that's the duty that we need to do. Now, maybe if last words, then if there's no more question, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for letting me have a coffee break. That was really appreciated. If you have other questions, of course, through Marco and our PR department, we can always supply you with additional answers or clarification. So also, you can ask any question. No problem. Of course, we are a special year for us. We didn't discuss that. It's going to be 75 years of Hasselblad, 2016, as a camera brand, and 175 years as a company. So Hasselblad was founded in 1841 in Göteborg as a trading house. And then in 1941 was the first camera that was made by Victor Hasselblad and team, which was called the HK7, which was an aerial camera during the Second World War. Yeah. And then, of course, the 1600 came in 1948, and then in 1957 was the 500. Yeah, so it's a rich story. So it's exciting to build it back to that former glory. And if you guys can help with that, I think there's so many enthusiasts in Italy. What we need to deliver is now not only the talk, we need to also deliver the products, and that you can judge us on that what we deliver as the product going forward. But thanks for coming, and thanks for being there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grazie mille.
Sono sicuramente uscite molti aspetti importanti e stimolanti per il lavoro che andremo a portare avanti assieme, è sicuramente solo l'inizio di un lungo cammino e Fowa sicuramente darà il proprio contributo per un grande successo per Hasselblad in Italia. Ringrazio nuovamente per la grandissima opportunità Mr. Perry Oosting e tutti voi per il seguito che darete a questa importante occasione e intervista.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Bravo Marco.